So you might have seen brands getting exposed on TikTok by Chinese manufacturers such as Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Hermes, and basically seeing that what you're paying for is literally just a label. And this is off the back of the tariffs that Donald Trump has imposed on China in this ongoing trade war. And so I want to discuss basically what that means for fashion brands and what it means for luxury fashion brands in the e-commerce space, and how you can actually use this whole thing to your advantage. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Lewin. I have profitably generated over $40 million in online sales for Shopify brands, and personally made 7 figures as a result of doing so. I'm not saying that to brag or to gloat, just purely to add weight to what I'm saying so that you can understand that I am qualified somewhat to talk about these topics. So the tariffs have been pretty brutal that have been implemented and imposed on China. And so as a result of that, the Chinese manufacturers and the Chinese factories are now deciding to cut out the middleman and starting to expose a lot of these American brands for basically sourcing their products from Chinese factories, taking them to a factory in Italy or France or LA, California, something like that, and just stitching a little label on it that says assembled in Italy or made in France, because that actually adds an element of luxury to it. Because if you think about it, as soon as you see on a label made in China, you instantly think it's not luxury. You don't see that as luxury at all. Like, it just, I don't know, the psychology of it, there's an association with like cheap, nasty products from China. And so if you have a Louis Vuitton bag and you see inside that it's made in China, all of a sudden the value of that goes way down. You go, why am I spending 4 figures, sometimes even 5, on a product that was made in China that could just be picked up for, less than that, like 2 or 3 figures, right? Now, people that are in the fashion industry and in the luxury brand space, like, they already know that all of this was going on, and so this isn't news to them. However, the broader sort of public and mass market, they are now being turned on to this by the videos that are being put out by Chinese manufacturers on TikTok. I mean, if I'm scrolling through my TikTok, it's like every couple of videos I'm seeing a Chinese factory basically saying, oh, this is where you get Louis Vuitton bags from, or even things like furniture. Like, there's a lot of things that you wouldn't expect that are coming from China that are then just having an American brand mark up the price, taking it to a different factory to do some sort of like slight modification, and then just ramping up the price on it, even though the quality is the exact same from when it's coming from China. So if you're already in the space, you understand this. Like, this is not like a new thing for you, but the public are now being awoken to this, and so they are now discovering different apps that you can use to go basically cut out the middleman and get these products at the factory price, which is what the brands like Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and Gucci get for. Like, that's the price that they get, that they then mark up. So that's obviously causing like quite a stir, and that's causing like a lot of noise in the market. But I want to explain like how fashion brands and just brands in general can actually use this to their advantage, by basically, like, in the marketing that you're doing in the ads and on the website, like in the messaging that you are putting out to your customers, it's really, really important to reinforce the quality of the garments that you're making or the products that you are making, and whether they are made in China or whether they are made in Italy, made in Turkey, made in Portugal. It's very, very important to actually like transparently talk about that, because people are starting to think that there is just this kind of like, haze, or this, I guess, like dishonesty between brand and consumer in the way that they market their products and in the way that they source them. And so if you can cut that out, and if you can just be as transparent as possible and say, like, this was manufactured in Portugal, like originally, like from the first stitch, it wasn't imported from China to then like have a label added in Portugal, like this is actually where it is from, then this can be a massive, massive advantage for you. Now, to obviously be a bit of a spectator in this trade war, like it has been quite funny because it's a case of like Trump is trying to, like draw a move from China, and then is kind of realizing that China kind of hold all of the cards because everybody in the world buys stuff from China without even knowing it. Like, again, you can be buying like a real big luxury designer brand and designer product and not know that it was actually made in China because it doesn't have any notice of that. It doesn't have any sort of like label, or you're not going to know that it was made in China at all. So there's a lot of people kind of like waking up to the fact that everything is supplied by China in some way, shape, or form. And the fact that consumers are basically cutting out that middleman now and being able to just go like directly to the source and get products at the factory price is kind of insane. And I'm not sure how we're going to be able to actually come back from that, because now the public is being educated on the fact that, if you're buying something for $20 and then selling it for $1,000, you are quite literally paying $980 for a little piece of, I guess, like fabric that says made in Italy, or it says Louis Vuitton, or like it is quite literally that insane. Like, you're not paying any, like the materials are all the same. The leather, the clasps, like the zips, like all of that is the exact same. The only difference is it has a slightly different label, like a different word on the label. And so the fact that people are becoming aware of that, I don't know how we can quite go back from that. So it doesn't really look great for the luxury sort of designer, like really, really high-end brands. There might have to be some sort of pivoting or some sort of strategy change there. But for products and brands that are priced a bit lower, just being transparent about where it is sourced and sort of maybe even just referencing what's going on at the moment can be really, really effective. I've seen examples of brands using this kind of messaging in ads, but obviously trying not to have any sort of political words in there so that it doesn't get flagged in their ad account and rejected. So they have to sort of put a disclaimer on it. And this has been working really, really well. Like, obviously relevancy converts, like relevancy is always engaging. So being able to hop on this trend is definitely something that can be utilized. So if you are a fashion brand and you are worrying, well, don't. Just take advantage of this opportunity to reinforce and reinstate that your products are sourced from where they are sourced. They are not secretly sourced from China, and just be transparent about that. And you will probably find conversion rates go up. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this video or whatever, drop a comment or whatever, and I will catch you in the next one.